guys. Welcome back to the Support Her, Marquita in Your Business
Yeah.
podcast edition. I have my co-host Keisha here.
Yes. Hey guys.
And we have a special guest, PatriceLive is in the building. Hey girl, hey.
Hey y'all, how are you?
We are so blessed and thankful that you came today. So, Patrice, for the people who don't know who you are, I don't know, they've been under the rock. Like, can you please let them know
Yes.
who you are and your
Yes.
many avenues? Because, I mean, you are the Wonder Woman.
Oh, I appreciate that. My name is PatriceLive. I am an entertainer, a marketing consultant, philanthropist, friend, wife, mother, sometimes a preacher if I want to be, sometimes a rapper when I think I'm one. But overall, I'm a self-proclaimed Wonder Woman, and that just means that I just embrace all parts of who I am. And so those descriptions are just things that I do, but who I am is just a light, a vessel. So that is me. I am she. So yes.
Awesome. And what a perfect person to have on our Women's Month celebration because you do it all.
Our first guest at that. This is our
I
first.
know. You're the
So I'm
first
excited.
guest.
Oh, I feel really honored. So wait, let me make sure I look right. So when y'all do the 10-year anniversary, I'm not looking back like, ooh,
Yes,
let me get it right. Let me get it right.
Okay. You got it right, girl.
Yes.
You got it right.
Keisha,
Yes.
did you want to ask her first question?
Oh my gosh. Yes, girl. So let me just say, I did not know who you were, right? But I did research and I was listening to your song. I think it was called Gold.
Dope Gold. Yes.
Oh my God. I was listening to that. I was listening to Pose, I think it was called, in another song. I just love your energy. You like listening to your music. And today, Marquita knows I was having a little rough day. But my spirit got up. I was just listening to your music and I felt empowered. I felt like, ooh, like I could go out and get it. Like I could do stuff. And then just to read about you and to see the work that you've done and what you're doing with the Wonder Woman Foundation, I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like this girl is like what we're trying to represent for Women's Month, the women who should be celebrated. Like it's Women's History Month and women's, it's all out of history. But I feel like today, in this day and age, there's so many women making history, and you are the epitome of that. So I'm excited, girl. I'm ready to get all up in your business.
Yes. I love it. And thank you for that. I really appreciate what you said.
Listen, no worries. My first question I would say is, how did you know music was something you wanted to do? Like you said you started at age 5. Like that's just like, that's so young. Like how did you know?
So I'm gonna evolve the question, right? And say that I've always loved music. I have a musical family. I think I don't know if it was so much music as much as I knew that my energy, spirit had the ability to create change in spaces. So at a young age, like 5, I knew that when I got on stage and I would perform, their energy shifted in a positive way. And so then I realized like, oh, but then I would do other things. And I realized like, oh, people's energy shifts. Like when I do my best, when I am on per se, people's energy shifts. So now I've evolved from it being about music as much as it is about like me just being this person, this woman, this vessel. And when I do it intentionally, I turn on. But I think at a young age, I knew that I had the ability to shift energy in a positive way. Back then, it was like, oh, look at this little girl who's not afraid to sing. So it wasn't even the focus of the music. It was just like, she's not scared and she's 5. And most 5-year-olds are scared. And when I realized that, I really understood. And now, years later, I still get that same feeling that I did at 5. Like, oh, I'm an energy shifter. Like I can help people, make them feel better through anything that I do. So I think I've always known that, and not so much the music, but I've always known that about myself. And music was just one way of doing that.
I love that. I also want to ask another question behind that. So you said you knew at age 5. So I feel like I just speak for myself too. Like when I was younger, there's things I knew, but people came and kind of like shifted what I knew. And I was like, well, if they're saying this, it can't be true, right? But what did you have around you, or did you even have that around you, like a community kind of just to like, hey, yeah, this is your gift, like reassuring you, yeah, this is it, like you're doing this, encouraging you just to keep going. Yes.
Yeah. I'll say for sure my family really helped me to cultivate the confidence to try things, for sure. My grandfather is a Grammy nominated gospel singer. I just got off the phone with him. My parents have always been very supportive.
If I had the music to do the sound effect, we have a sound effect that we do. If I had it, that right there.
Oh, right there. I'm trying to catch up to Grandpa, so I still haven't gotten there. And look, and he lets me know it. Like, girl, you still got a ways to go. Mess with me.
That's legacy right there. We love that.
Yeah, he's a gospel singer. I have a cousin who was like on Broadway. She was a part of the original cast of The Color Purple. My mama sing, my cousin sing, and so actually it was a little bit of the opposite in that because I was surrounded by it kind of scared me a little bit because I tried to find my place in what that looked like. And so a lot of the times I would actually veer away from it and try different things, but it will always come back chasing me. And it's funny because Marquita has been, in just such a short time of me knowing her, has been such a true testament to people really seeing you when sometimes you don't see yourself. And so all these years I knew that I had something special, but I was kind of looking at what other people did, and it scared me a little bit. So I pushed away from it, but it would never leave me alone. I mean, I can tell you years that I didn't watch the Grammys and I didn't really listen to a lot of music and stuff because I was so frustrated, not understanding how come I didn't have a certain level of success, or how come I didn't have the things that I wanted yet within that realm. And what I found was like, it was there all along. So when you ask me what helped to cultivate that, it was always there. I just needed to like make it mine. But that confidence my parents gave me, my father can't sing a lick. Well, he thinks he can, but he always encouraged me to try things. And he was very instrumental in like me being strategic. If I wanted to do something, he wasn't going to figure it out for me. He was like, go back and do this and come back to me and let me know what you come up with. And so now as an adult, I'm realizing like, I didn't have it in the way that I think I thought should have maybe, but there was times with my grandparents, there was my family having a gospel group, there were people that I met over the years, and all these little pieces like helped me to cultivate this confidence and like craziness to just do something that most people would think is crazy. So it's always been there, but it was just in a different form.
Yeah. I think that goes back to like you're always provided for, but we don't see it. And so like now I challenge myself, like, okay, if I get like, I'm charged to do something, like, okay, well, I need you to do this. I feel like God telling me to do something. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And then, but now before I'm like, I can't do that. I don't have no money. I don't have no camera. I don't have no mic. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I would just stop there. But now I challenge myself to say, well, who has it that I know? I know somebody who may have, okay, my boo, he has the latest iPhone. So I can use his iPhone while I don't use mine. Or, you know what I mean? I use my work office now. So now I'm just utilizing everything that I have as opposed to like focusing on the things that I don't have.
Yes. My mantra for 2021, it wasn't even mine. It's what God gave me right before the year. And I was like, okay, what's happening? Because honestly, I jokingly, but kind of seriously say that I think I caused the pandemic. And that's because right before it happened, I literally prayed like, God, I need you to slow down my life. I can't keep up with myself right now. You know how you're running and like you get to that point where you're falling over, you can't stop your legs. And that's how I felt like my whole life was. And I was like, I just wish that I could stop the world for like 2 weeks, catch up on all my emails, catch up on all this, learn this skill that should take me 5 years, but I'm gonna learn it in 2 weeks. But I was just like, I need a minute. And then, no lie, y'all, 2 weeks later, that's when COVID hit.
Look how powerful you are, Patrice.
Oh,
Can you use that power to bring some abundance?
Right? I'm like, well, if we're gonna do that, I need the money now, right? Or whatever.
Where the money reside?
Where the money reside, y'all. So I think I jokingly say that, but I think it was something, and you know, of course, you know, mourning the lives that we've lost, but for those who are still here, like I think we all needed like a reset, right? And so for 2021, I asked God, I'm like, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to approach my life and my career and everything that's going on? And he gave me two things. He said, you clean up what you have, right? Clean up what you have. And that can be in the form of just cleaning out the thousands of emails that you have, right? Because you keep missing stuff, or utilize, you know, cleaning up the lingerie closet or your drawer, whatever it is, you know what you need to clean up. We don't have to get into the what, but he gave me clean up what you have and use what I've already given you. And when I thought about that, I was like, oh, so there are clients on the marketing side of what I do that I'm not maximizing the opportunity with them yet. So instead of me asking for more clients, use what you have already. Or to your point, Marquita, you have an iPhone, like use what you have. No, it's not going to be the quality grade of like a Warner Brothers studio or whatever, but use what you have. You'll get there, but use what you have. Maximize and fill all the spaces that you're in right now. So that's what I'm really focused on, is maximizing what I have right now. So when you say that, I completely relate to using what I have and not being worried about what I don't have yet.
Definitely.
That's so
And
good.
a question I have for you, like as an artist, on your artist head side, how has the pandemic been for you? I know you wanted to slow down, but like as far as your art, do you feel more creative? Do you feel like, what are you doing differently than before?
I actually, in the beginning, I felt less creative. But it was probably an intentional less creative. I don't believe in like forcing things when it comes to like the music, and I just really didn't have anything to say, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't gonna try. I mean, I could have, but I just didn't want to, you know. And I'm grown now, so I'm like, I don't want to do stuff I don't want to do, and I don't mean that in an undisciplined way. I just mean like I'm not gonna force a song out of me and begin to say things that I don't mean or don't align with. So at first I didn't, and then ideas started to come to me, but that same feeling of like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the money and the pandemic and how's that look? And so probably in the last couple of months, it's come rushing like a flood in terms of the creativity and what I want to do and how I want to do it, and the shift of me saying like, oh, like what I'm doing, I actually love and enjoy. It doesn't have to be this heavy burden, because I've always felt like that, because I'm the leader. I'm the nucleus of like what happens in my artistry. I have choreographers and bands and producers and all that, and I have to make it come together to make it make sense so that everybody that's attached to it can work. So that weight of the responsibility has been really heavy on me, and things weren't going the way I wanted them to, so I didn't feel creative. Now I've shifted into this place where I'm like, let's have fun with this again. Like, remember when you just like going to the studio, and when you went there, you didn't think about the budget and how you were going to make the video and how you were going to do all this, but you just had fun. And I'm in that space now. I was at the studio last week and we wrote, I can't wait for the rollout. Y'all have to invite me back, because it's like, it's Wonder Woman 2.0. It's a whole, it's a whole spin and a different perspective on what it means to be a Wonder Woman. I'm deeply defining that now, in that what is a Wonder Woman? It's not just a woman who's just like with the cape on and successful, but it's a dynamic woman, a woman who wears several different hats. And so how do we deliver that? And so the rollout, I cannot wait for it. So I feel much more creative, and I feel at peace within myself, so I can be solid for that nucleus for everybody around me again. So I feel it. I'm re-energizing myself as an artist.
I love that.
Something we talked about, well, you and I personally talked about, was being prepared for the next level.
Yeah.
So during that time where you were resting, I was well, God was using me to talk to you, to tell you to be in preparation for, because you were saying how you felt overwhelmed with all of these responsibilities and everything coming on you. So I was just encouraging you to get prepared for your assistant, get prepared for your manager, get prepared and prepare systems. And I don't think we talk about that enough, especially in business. And I think all three of us are the strong women or the strong people of the families. And I think we don't talk about it enough about delegation. So how important has delegation been for this new season of your life?
So it's actually what you just said. It's the cleanup what I have. So I don't have an assistant right now. I'm actually looking for one. But I think the reason why I haven't found the person yet is because I think that God is orchestrating like me creating systems and processes that work for me so that I can then translate that over to that person. I think, it's just like getting hired for a job. And it's that weird place where they want you to like do everything and fix it and make it great, but they don't have the internal processes, nor have they stopped to fix it. And I noticed that as a consultant, because oftentimes when I would come into an organization, they want me to do work, like they want me to fix the marketing, but they don't realize that the system is broken. So before we fix the marketing piece of this, before we roll out this campaign and that, we need to get the system, the communication system. How are we communicating this internally? Are we maximizing and using the space? And I realized that I was like also guilty of that, and that all of these creative ideas and stuff that I had are great, but I know, and I hate to bring him in here, but I'm going to anyway. I'm a Gemini. And so who else is a Gemini? Kanye West, Donald Trump, Tupac. And so you look at these Geminis, and I was like, okay, let me take my personal feelings away from them. What do I see in them that I see in myself? And I think that people who are super creative and super passionate, you have to have certain things in place to contain that a little bit. But it's not a bad thing. It's not like armor chains. It's just containing it. When I would see Kanye West talk, obviously we know that he has some mental health issues, but outside of that, everything he was saying wasn't crazy. It was just his delivery. It was how he was disseminating the information. It was the way in which he was doing it. It was the space, the time. Sometimes
like a reservoir.
And it was like a flood. When if he would have had systems and people in place to kind of help him pull it in a little bit, it would have made more sense. So while I'm not like going on a Kanye rant, I could see within my practices daily that as a mother, as a marketing consultant, all that, like I'm way more organized and disciplined, but within my artistry, I was like crazy and wild. And that works on stage. That's great, right? But when you're trying to do business, it doesn't work. And if you have a team, everyone has to be clear on what's happening. And so you can't be this flood all the time. You have to have systems and regular things in place to manage yourself. So I said, I realized that now, what you said, Marquita, the preparation is that my assistant is out there. She or he is ready for me, but they're waiting on me to create the system so that they can come in and do a good job, as opposed to me being frustrated because they don't know what to do or how to help me because I'm all over the place. So that's what I'm doing. That's the cleanup, what I have right now, so that I can prepare for someone else to come in and not have to be on a crazy train with me,
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. Did you have a question, Keisha?
I did. Well, she kind of answered it, to be honest. I was going to say, how have you been able to kind of manage the roles? Like not even manage the roles, because you kind of mentioned that, but I'm just going to kind of try to reword the question. It's basically, how have you not, because you a lot of people feel like if they're an artist, they have to be an artist. And that's just very, like, especially for women, I feel like sometimes we're scared to do things outside of what people see as the norm. For me, I was an athlete most of my life. Basketball was all I knew. So when I did something different, it was like, whoa, what is Keisha doing kind of thing? It was like, I had a fear of even doing anything outside of it, right?
Yeah.
For time. So I kind of was like forced to, it was over now. And I was like, oh my God, now I have no choice but to like step into this. But my question is, how are you able to do that and still have the roles, have the other roles, and have like balance, if that makes sense? I hope
it does. To speak to what you asked about, just so I call it like, I would rather you're gonna have to make a sacrifice somewhere. So I would rather choose the sacrifice than it choose me, right? So if the sacrifice is that I have to lose some sleep to finish something, I would rather do that than for me to like have something thrown on me that I can't handle, so to speak. So when you talk about like then it was over. I'm like, no, let me manage this a little bit more so that I have a choice.
Right.
So to answer your question, when it comes to all of the roles, I try now, this is new for me, I'm trying to be intentional about making choices that work best for me, even if they look crazy, because at the end of the day, this is my personal mantra, has always been, I am the only person that I am guaranteed to be with for my entire life. Me. So me takes care of me. She takes care of me. Meaning that I have to make decisions even in reference to my kids, my husband. I have to make decisions that help me first. It's not a selfish thing, right? It's a manager thing because I'm the only person that can manage me. My kids will go off and go to college and live their lives. My husband, God forbid, it's not even a negative thing. Like, what happens if he dies at 65 and I'm still living for a few years? Like, I still have to live. So I'm tasked with the only person that's going to take care of me. And so when I'm playing mommy, I'm thinking of my children first. But sometimes I have to make those situations work for me. And one of the things that I've learned about myself is that I know I'm fair. If nothing else, I'm crazy. I could do whatever, but I know I'm fair. And part of being fair is that I'm intentionally looking at all of the angles and looking at both sides of things to make sure that I'm kind of checking myself. Sometimes I lean more to the other person than even myself. Right. And so because I know I'm fair, I know that God gives me, I don't have to be scared to make decisions that benefit me too. So when I make a decision about my children, like, it's okay that, like, we're going to read books in the car while we drive to mommy's rehearsal. And that doesn't mean that I'm a bad mom. It just means that I have to maximize the time, but I'm still intentional when I'm in that car and I'm still listening to them read and I'm still being, I'm still doing what I have to do, but I'm fair because I still care about their education. I'm not leaving them to not do their education. I'm just transitioning, doing what I need to do. And so I'm still finding different ways to make my life work for me and still serve others. And there is nothing wrong with that. As women, there's nothing wrong with that, for sure.
Yeah. I love that you harped on that. There's nothing wrong